Hello, everybody hear me? All right. Rocking and rolling. Welcome to the Thursday Night General Show. Let me start with a quick announcement. Marty's an idiot. Marty forgot tonight was his wife's birthday. We won't say which one. It's an important milestone. And so he's not joining us tonight, which really throws a damper into our project because tonight we're supposed to talk about this weekend's tabletop game, the final conclusion, maybe, of the 13 Days to 13 Hours program. So, you know what? This background's really distracting. Give me 2 seconds. Let me correct this background. And we will be much better. It's just two. This. Let's go with the original. Yeah, that's better. We'll do that. Okay. Or can we remove the background altogether? Oh, no, that's kind of boring. All right, let's go with that one. Okay. All right. So we are in the studio offices here at SitRep Podcast HQ. And I want to welcome everybody joining us tonight as we talk about what is going on in 13 Days to 13 Hours. Last weekend, I'm hoping Jim or Gaz will join me in the conversation since I don't have Marty. That looks like I think that would be Chris Long has joined us. Chris, welcome to the show. We'll see who else is online as we get ready to talk about... Oh, my hair. Just got a haircut. It's all wearing. I had to take a quick nap. Headache weather as I get ready for some big life events. But anyways, let's talk about some 13 Days to 13 Hours, shall we? So I was hoping Marty get here because we have to make some rules decisions about how we're going to play the bad guys. If you caught the live stream last weekend or the recordings, I guess there was some issue on YouTube. It mysteriously disappeared, but Jim fixed it. Jim, if you're up, bud, I'd love to have you join the conversation via remotely if you're able to. I don't know if this is end of quarter for you. Skoback is in the house. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we can talk about some rules and some other events that are going on. And we're going to do some catch-ups. But before, I wanted to say congratulations to Paul B. Paul B is the winner of our North Hag two-player starter bundle. His comments were chosen at random, and we will be getting that out to him this weekend once I get caught up. I just got back from the Florida Keys again on Sunday afternoon, and I'm heading back out there on next week. We are moving. We're moving to the Florida Keys. Dawn got a job at a hospital down there, and I had a job in Fort Myers, but she really wanted her job in Key West, and being the supportive person that I am, we are moving to the Keys. I got a job in the Keys as well. So, and then we bought a boat because I'm a scuba instructor as well. So I'm going to be doing some scuba diving and hopefully teaching some people. I applied at the local community college, do some instructing as well. We'll see how that goes. There's opportunities. We'll get some fishing going, things like that. What does this mean for the gaming weekend? As of right now, nothing. Guys, keep your plans because we're not selling our house up here. So as of right now, everything is golden and is a go. We will make a final determination no later than November 1st, okay? If you guys were unable to cancel, if you've already made flights and we end up canceling due to COVID or whatever, because there's been some spikes, you know, we're keeping our finger on the pulse of what's going on in the world. But as of right now, everything is going, okay? Remember, the command crew is going to come in from around the world to be there to game with you guys. So hopefully we get everybody going on. Oh, hey, Gaz is in the house. So, Gaz, I don't know, are you up for coming on and chatting with us since Marty's not here because he's a dumbass and he forgot it was his wife's most important birthday? I'd like to get some input from other members, especially those who were playing last week. If you can't, no big deal. It's cool. We'll walk through it. So I do at some point want to share the rules of what am I trying to say? The rules of what we're going to be using. We're going to be using Skirmish 2.0 rules. Where do I have those? I downloaded them somewhere. But we're going to talk about that. But I mean, well, there's a lot to talk about. We need to confirm enemy count, and I believe our enemy count is. Let me pop up Skype just in case my friend and comrade in arms is able to join us. So I want to make sure he's good to go. Excuse me as I rub my nose. You ever notice that anybody on camera, they always have this desire to rub their nose, right? So yeah, we'll see if Gaz can join us. Gaz, just shoot me a message if you think you can join us. Just finished the night shift. Ooh, what time is it there? It's 7 here. It's 6 hours later. It's 1 in the morning. Ouch. All right, well, go to bed. So, hope it was a good shift. Hopefully you were able to fix whatever the pilots broke. So, anyway, so we're going to talk about a lot of that stuff. And any other good gaming things you guys want to talk about. Let's go back. Let's put it out to you guys out there. What are you working on, or what game are you playing currently? Chris, we know you're working on a ton of stuff. We'll be recording a podcast on Sunday morning as well. So it's a busy weekend here at SitRep HQ as we get ready for a lot of things. Let me pull up. Oh, I have it up already, dummy. Okay, let me pull up the rules for Skirmish, because we're going to want to look at those. Let's see. Let me sure. Well, there is rules they sent to us, and I've been so busy moving back and forth and stuff that I have not had a lot of time to work on this. I've literally the last 2 weeks I've driven over 5,000 miles between Chicago and Florida. So okay, I think I've gotten it. I think I have it. Now that's the it's not the 2.0, but that's all the downloads. Good. So there's the character sheets. So yeah, we're gonna have to I'll pull those up too, just because we can talk about that. While I'm at it. Alright guys, I'm gonna switch over camera real quick. As you can see, these are the demo character cards. So it's a little bit different in the way it's going compared to the old ones, and if you bear with me, I will pull up an old one. I think I have it on my desktop. Singing. Sugar. It might be in the SitRep folder. Let me share. 13 days files. Yes. So, alright, let me drop down here. Okay, what you see in front of you is what Ralph created, and here's what we worked on. So as you can see, I like these honestly, but the other ones were just, you know, test demos. So let me pop these here, and got those here, so we have a comparative. So this is what Ralph created. Ralph was our graphics guy, who's unfortunately no longer with the team at the moment. We're hoping he'll come back soon, but so as you can see, you know, you have the sheet, you can lay everything out pretty well. You know, you have experience, it goes from elite veteran all the way down to, you know, militia, civilian type, and, you know, gear. So here you've got the same. You got your body, armor. So your armor would go here. So as you can see, there's some differences, like class. We're going to have to look at that. But this is what we have for tempo. See tempo and some other things here. Wound track. So damage here. So they looks like they streamlined it a lot. But yeah, we'll have to see how we make these adjustments. So this is an exploratory. We were going to show you guys. Let me pull my camera back up here. We were going to show you guys the table and the minis, but I decided, nah, we're going to wait and do that. Let me pull the comments back up. Sorry, guys. Let me bring the comments back up here. And, wow. Skullbags, compiling my pile of shame. We all have that. Do you want me to join through Skype? Yes, please. Rasmus in the house. Carl's in the house. Carl! What's going on? How are you doing? Man, Carl is a man of many adventures there on old Facebook. It's hard to keep up with him sometimes. Gaz, I'm going to pop over to here. Give you a holler. Can you hear me, sir? Can I hear you? Hold on a minute, buddy. I got to change settings. Give me 2 quick seconds here. I gotta go into audio video settings. Audio. Hello? Yes. Alright, speakers. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Alright. Gaz is in the house. Say hi, Gaz.
Hello.
Alright, so we have Gaz in the house. How you feeling, buddy? You okay to do this? Or are you worn out?
No, I should be right.
Alright. You know, you let me know if you like fall asleep or some crap like that.
Yeah, it'll just be your lips. No, I'll grab my headset so that I can make sure we don't get any feedback loop.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Everything sounds good on my end. Does it sound good on everybody else's end? Because I'm not hearing anything. So we'll go from there. Okay. So Gaz, do you want to give everybody a quick wrap up of where we left things at the end of the game?
Yeah, it should be good. So essentially, Jim fought a very good game.
Yeah.
He managed to get out the majority of stuff. You have a single SUV. I did manage to crack the block with a Dushka on one of them, which didn't end very well, as you can imagine. And he got the team physically intact, shall we say, but there are some injuries incurred. So Tig, unfortunately, was incapacitated.
Yeah.
And obviously carrying that into Sangin, you'll have to decide what that represents within the Sangin rule set.
Right.
And Roan was severely injured, but that's more still able to do certain things.
Yeah.
I think one of the best things we could probably do is look at how we can apply that to, what the guys are going to be like in the game. With having one SUV, that allows you to keep Tig as incapacitated, or at least initially, in the vehicle.
Yes.
And maybe find a way of treating him on site that would bring him back to injured rather than incapacitated. Roan could be protection in there as well to sort of defend the vehicle.
Yes.
As he's severely injured and has maybe a more limited role. And in total for enemy forces, the role wasn't as high as it could be, but it was certainly
it wasn't as high as it could. It was what, 66, 65?
65, yeah. Which we were surprised at. That was let me think, it was a 17 and 19, something like a 15 and a 4.
Yeah, something like that.
So there was, 3 in the teens, but 1 really low.
Yeah.
It was strange that the numbers tracked on the cameras entering and exiting the compound at the actual incident, the different faces, 60 individuals were tracked with different faces.
Yeah.
So it's only slightly over the numbers after it started to wane, after the numbers had started to filter away. So yeah, we're not far off being pretty much what we wanted it to be, as in the numbers are about the same as what actually happened.
And that was honestly by pure chance. I don't, it wasn't designed. I mean, Jim created the math to give us the realistic, opportunities. But it wasn't like, okay, at the end of the game, this is what it's going to be. It was purely luck, per se, based on dice rolls, that we got pretty close to the actual, what we believe is the accurate count.
That's right, yeah. So, strange how that
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah, good for you, huh?
Yeah. I was pretty much wiped out on the way in. So one thing we've talked about with having a certain number of models painted is potentially however you want to do the enemy forces coming in waves or in groups, any models that are not in the waves that enter can be reinforcements for the return transit game.
Yeah.
So say you used, 45, that would leave me 20 additional troops for the return game.
Well, that's something we have to talk about tonight, and like I said, I thought Marty was going to be here so we could talk about the setup for the game itself. But let's kind of shoot that around. Let me bring the comments back up so I can make sure I'm with everybody here. Okay, everybody sounds good. Target rich environment. Okay, so when it came to how we're going to do the bad guys, because potentially we could have 65 guys all on the table at the same time. Potentially. Mm-hmm. Do we have 65 bad guy minis? Oh, we could come up with 65 bad guy minis. How many did you send over? To be fair, I haven't even opened the box because I did not want them to be laying around and get knocked over or damaged. So we left them in the box, and they will be unveiled this weekend. So when we put them on the table.
18 or 19. I think it's 18.
Okay. All right. So, and then we have, what did we say our count was, 20-something? So we're in the 40s. But here's what I'm thinking, and you tell me how you feel about it, and anybody else out there, please chime in if you have ideas. Do we do like little groups? Like this is Group A, Group B. We put so many minis. We do it by dice roll or whatever, and that's kind of like with the wave that comes in. And then, because if we do individual combat on 40-plus minis, we're going to be here all day doing a turn, right? So I guess we're going to have to figure that out and then go from there. So, let's say we have like Group A coming through the main gate, and let's say Boone engages Group A, but he has a sniper rifle. Does he get to pick somebody? I mean, stuff like that. How do we efficiently handle the bad guys?
My suggestion would be there's going to be some guys already on site.
Yeah.
No matter, they got there in 7 minutes.
Yep.
I think Jim actually did it in 6, because I think it was turn
6, yeah.
I want to say. So realistically, there's still potentially the gates police left.
Yep.
Without a fight. There was only a handful of Feb 17, if that. I think it was 3 to 5.
Yeah.
They sort of just blended away in the crowd at that time. But that was obviously stuff had kicked off quite heavily.
Yeah.
This time, it's still the initial sort of entry for the militia. I believe they also had a technical themselves. I'd have to read up on that, but they definitely had some vehicles.
Yes.
So they could use them to blockade initially and maybe put down some fire. So I would think maybe apply some sort of dice system where this is the initial part, so we roll a d6, and what you roll forms the first group coming through the gate. And if we determine some sort of time frame, the dice goes up and then wanes down again. Yeah. So say you decided to play 10 turns, turn 1 would be a d4, then a d6, then a d8, all larger increments to cover more bodies.
Yeah.
And have the initial one maybe roll just a couple of dice, one for each of the large gates, because I think the pedestrian one would have held out. They wouldn't have gone for the pedestrian one initially, because that's just a small hole in the wall. It's not really, if it's a mob mentality, they tend to go for the main.
Yeah, agree. No, I totally agree.
Rasmus has put something up as well.
Oh, let's see what Rasmus has to say. See, not being too familiar with the system, I would look at groups like 5 plus 2d6 or 1 plus 1d3 groups coming on each turn. Carl says spawn points, perhaps with increasing percentage chance of arriving. Randomize bad guys on the table, then spawn points. Yeah, there's always spawn points. We have 3 spawn points, right? Theoretically, you have the main gate, the back gate, and the pedestrian gate. We can make those the spawn points, and then each turn we roll for how many bad guys show up. And if for some reason we haven't killed anybody and we're at Jim, if you want to join the conversation, I have Gaz on the air as well. We're talking about last Sunday's game and how we roll it into this weekend's game. But yeah, we could do the spawn points, and then if we have maxed out all of our bad guy minis, none come back on the table. But that seems kind of scary if we have not killed some of the 40 guys, right, or eliminated them. So,
you guys are packing swords, you're packing sniper rifles, you're going to be picking off leaders, you're going to be suppressing. Yes, but there is, saying that, there is some cheeky firepower in amongst the...
Yeah.
Couple of RPKs, so, yes, they're not a saw, but, they're going to put down some fire, they're going to cause some problems. RPGs, if they hit, or if they even come close, I imagine they're quite a bit scary, but... Yeah, I think it's the numbers game is going to be what it's about. Yeah,
most definitely. I agree with you 100%. To be honest with you, we're going to win or lose this based upon how we handle the crowds, the groups. Are we efficient in that? Yes, Jim, we're on Skype. You want me to patch you in? I can patch you into our call. But yes, we're definitely on. It's definitely one of those things. Carl, if you have any input on that, I know you're really big into the skirmish. I was reading some of your most recent comments about the upgrades, so please, happily to comment as well. Let me see if I can grab Jim here real quick, guys. And Big Jim. Ed? Calling? He may not be actually on his computer yet, which is fine. But we'll add him to the call if he comes on. Alright. Nope, not yet. Okay, cool. Alright, so at this point, wrap up, we have Teague, who's incapacitated, correct? And then who was the one that was seriously injured? Was Roan. Woo!
Yeah.
No bueno. So we have to look at... I'm trying to pull up the rules. They're on a private page. I'm a member. I got them, but I can't find my copy, so I'm going back to Facebook to find them.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Hey, there he is.
Thanks, Jim. Hey, Jim.
What's going on?
Good evening. How are you doing?
Not too bad.
Awesome. So, quick catch-up, Jim. We were just talking about how you designed the game and how you designed the enemy numbers. And, even though you created the math, you didn't purposely say we're going to hit number 6566, which is what they believe was the actual number of baddies there at one time. And it just happened to work out that way, which is very, close to...
Yeah, we got very lucky and unlucky in that regard.
Right? So, we segued that into how are we going to handle the mass, the wave of people, of human bodies. A couple suggestions were, let's see, spawn points. We technically have 3 spawn points built into the table. You have the main gate, the side, the pedestrian gate, and you have the back gate. Those could be your spawn points. So at every turn, we can roll to see how many bad guys come through those doors or spawn, right? And if for some reason there are 40-something bad guys already on the table and that's all the minis we have, then that's all the minis you have, and you're really screwed because you haven't killed anybody, So, and then Carl goes, you could use blinds until spotted so you don't know what insurgent have unless, yep. So, I don't know what you think, Jim. What's your thought on it?
I've seen blinds in miniature games. They're usually something associated with counter games, but I have seen them in miniature games as well. They actually can work. You have like some sort of default marker that shows where X force is, but you don't know what's in X force. Maybe the enemy has them hidden, or your opponent has them hidden in a tray under the table,
right?
Or who knows what, or even the game doesn't know. Maybe you draw a card, or maybe you roll dice.
Yeah.
To see one thing, I'm happy to join the call, but I don't know really that much about Sanguine, which I think is the system you guys are using.
Yeah, we're going to be using the beta. I think it's beta version of 2.0. So we're going to be learning it. It's a huge update to the old system. So when we get together this weekend to film the game, just so everybody knows, we're not doing it live. We're going to actually film it and edit it so it's much more time conservative, and you're able to get into the action a lot quicker versus us fumbling through things. So it'll be edited down for viewing pleasure, shall we say. Blinds is very, very interesting option. We could do that, which leads to combat. What do we do for combat? So do we do because we can't do 40 bad guys separately. We'd be here all day. Do we do them in little groups? Do we do blinds and say, viewing pleasure, so many ways to go with that statement. Aren't you right, Jen? That's the other thing we got to figure out. I like the idea of the spawn points. We could actually, in the first turn, we already determined there's 65 baddies on the table, whether in the compound or just outside the compound. Now comes placement.
65 people don't have to appear all at once.
Right.
We were talking, obviously just idle conjecture, we were talking about something almost like a Rorschach drift, kind of a wave mechanic. You can't put 4,000 Zulus on a table all at once.
Yeah.
But you need some sort of a wave thing. But yeah, you're right, that runs into a conveyor belt problem where if your saws, if you're in 249 saws, are not shooting people up fast enough, pretty soon you're going to run out of miniatures. And, it's like, oh, I need 10 more people on board. I only have 40 miniatures. I'm supposed to have 65. And, I put 40 on there, and then 10 more are supposed to show up via cards or dice or who knows what. And you don't have 10 casualties assessed. You have 10 figures removed off the table.
Yeah.
One thing that we were doing, because we run into a similar problem with the, what's the word I'm looking for here? A design philosophy or whatever. And it also helps with the whole asymmetrical feel of the game, okay? Is you have trained operators, State Department security personnel. These are guys that are like, this is last stand time. There's nowhere to run. We stand or die, and there's literally no other option between the two. That's how we were running sort of the transit game, where guys could get wounded. GRS operators could obviously get wounded. There was light wounds, serious wounds, incapacitation, and then after that there was bleed out, maybe even death. They could be instantly killed. We just got lucky, and that hasn't happened yet. Pistol bullet goes through your skull. I don't care how tough you are. One thing we were doing, though, and guys can hopefully back me up on this, is that once an insurgent was hit, he's just removed off the table.
Yeah.
And that wasn't saying that they were weak or they just don't care, but they just don't care. They're not that into it. They're insurgents. They might get hit, and as soon as they see a fair amount of blood running down their T-shirt, they're going to be like, you know what, I'm going home.
Yeah, there's nobody on whereas obviously the GRS have got the right gear.
They're not trained to deal with that kind of either motivation or pain, or also they're not, they have other options.
Yeah.
Besides, death and victory, they have, or escape in this case. They do have other options. So that's how we were running, and that was a huge help in cutting down the time with these huge, firefights or whatever. And I think if you do it like that, you get a couple saws going, you're going to be able to, kind of cut a swath through militia figures quickly. I'm not 100% familiar with Sanguine.
Mm-hmm.
Once that happens, you're going to have miniatures to kind of feed the back end of that conveyor belt if you wanted to do some sort of a wave mechanic to hit the numbers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
they can also just
you know, if they come in as a mob, say you get 10, 50%, you start to roll 50-50 whether they stay or not. You know, every time they take another casualty. So when they're at 5, you literally at the beginning you go roll a d6 on a 1 to 3 they leave because they've had enough. They've already lost a few boys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and as soon as they lose their next one, that becomes a 2. Lose one boy, it becomes on the roll of a 1. And they get down to say 2 or 3 or whatever, or last man, and the last man's like, no, time to go home.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's going to be a morale check for each group that takes, you know, injury or conflict, you know, whatever we decide to do. Again, I have to review the rules, and I'm having a heck of time finding the page because it is a private page that they sent out for the rules to review. I have them somewhere. I'll find them. But we'll be talking about that more in depth as we're playing the game. So people get to see each mechanic as it's changed and upgraded. So that'll be interesting as well. But I think the transit game really set the stage, and it really set the atmosphere of the miniatures game. It's going to segue really well into the game, and you know, you guys did an awesome job on it, and I can't wait to see, you know, if we do or die, really. The other thing is, how do we play out the ambassador, you know, since he's theoretically locked in that safe room, but because the building's not on fire yet, right? We determined the building has not been lit.
All we know is that he's still alive.
Yeah, okay.
So you got there in what, 6 minutes, Jim?
I got there in 6 minutes. So turn 0, which there's no turn 0. Turn 1 is basically literally impossible. I think it's turn. I can't remember now. Give me just a second here. I think it was turns 1 through 4 were no threat at all. No, like 1 through 3 were no threat at all. So I would say then the building is not even on fire yet.
Uh-huh.
We didn't get there in those first 3 turns. And then I'll have to pull up the chart, but I think on turn 4 was a 2+, on turn 5 it was a 2+, turn 6 it was a 3+ on a D6. We just abstracted it as a D6.
Sure.
And then from there it went up, all the way up to turn 10, which was basically 7+.
Yep.
He's dead. The building has burned down, or he's passed away from smoke inhalation. So historically, they got there in 7 minutes. Of course, they waited 35 minutes before they were allowed to leave. We left at minute 0. So technically speaking, as far as a pure historical standpoint goes, they didn't get there until turn 42.
Right.
35 plus 7. It's a minute per turn. We got there on turn 6. So it was like, I guess if they left at 9, I can't remember what the exact time the embassy attacked, so it was like 9:42 at night. We got there at like 9:48 or something.
Yeah.
So it's up to you guys, really. One thing I definitely did want to do is I'll offer a series of suggestions via the transit game, and not just like hand you guys a bunch of marching orders. We do know the ambassador's alive. Whether or not the building's on fire, I would suggest yes. But he's not. So far he's alive.
Okay. Do we know historically when? Do they have an idea of when the building in a timeline was actually lit?
No. We don't have that.
They don't have that. Okay.
So the other thing is when they actually at that stage that he passed away, it was the smoke inhalation, so the fire never actually reached him.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. He died from smoke inhalation, not fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the other thing is, I'm trying to remember which gate they went in, historically. I want to say it was the same gate, Jim.
Yeah, historically GRS went in through the front gate.
Yeah.
At least that's...
Just inside the front gate was the Feb 17 barracks.
Yeah, that's where the command post and the Feb 17 barracks are, which we've modeled. So
there could still be an engagement between Feb 17, because at this point, I think one thing we've not really accounted for is minute 0, radio chatter will have gone from the annex to the diplomatic compound stating GRS are en route, which obviously wouldn't have been a motivator for them in the original scenario. Whereas in this one, they might go, well, actually, we only need to hold out a few minutes. We'll probably get a good paycheck out of that, and maybe we can talk around a bit. Maybe there's, the diplomatic approaches. They're coming in, the talk going back and forth first. So there's probably other things that we probably haven't really thought of with delaying that initial first round fired or the fire being set.
So there was definitely no Feb 17 guys still there at the consulate when GRS arrives.
Yeah.
A little bit after 10 historically.
Yeah.
We've gotten there about 20 or 30 minutes earlier than historically planned, or that historically took place. I don't know enough about the incident. I don't even know if that stuff's been released yet. Did those Feb 17 guys, were they all killed, or did they run away?
So there was only 3 to 5.
Yeah, they ran off. It's my understanding.
And they basically just folded into the crowd.
Yeah.
Because the movie shows a lot of people being cut down in that initial attack, and I honestly don't know who they are.
There was no shots fired at all in the compound at any point.
Okay, I
Other
might
than
be
sort of
watching
into
the
the sky and
report
stuff.
maybe then. Okay.
Yeah.
Or the movie is
the
probably
diplomatic guys never fired around.
Yeah, which is something that's a little strange. The movie does show that, but
There was just no engagement. But there was obviously looting and shots fired into the air, probably shots fired into walls and buildings, just not a firefight.
Yeah, the DSS, the Diplomatic Security Service, from my understanding and what I was able to determine, did not engage the enemy or combatants. They basically locked down in place and secured the ambassador. Their job is not to engage.
That's what I saw in the Senate report.
Yeah, they're not there to engage. They're there to lock down and secure. That's why they were calling for help, because one, they knew they were outnumbered, and two, their role is to protect the ambassador and secure any classified materials. So, and if and the movie does that pretty well, because you see the one guy in the talk locked down, and then the other guys that are covering the ambassador are locked in that safe room with them.
Right.
The only question I have, though, when you look at the movie, it seems like there was more than just those 3 DSS agents. But I don't know. I might have miscounted in the chaos, but
I don't remember. There was the guy with the mustache that actually was with the diplomat initially.
yeah.
The Senate report says 5.
So what happened to the other 2 guys?
I don't know.
So you got to remember there was 2 of the other visiting dignitary.
Yeah.
So it wasn't all the diplomat's team. Only,
Oh.
I think 3 were the diplomat, and 2 was it a secretary that was visiting?
Oh, okay.
It was a second visitor. At
That's
the same
right.
Time.
So at night there was only the 3.
Detail who were with him. And
Yeah.
He was the one who went and got. And the diplomat had, I think, believe 3
Uh-huh.
that were his, and then a couple of Feb 17 guys and a couple of police that were on the gates.
Right.
Maybe
Initially.
that's what I saw.
Yeah.
But again, I'm talking about a movie like it's a historical document.
Actually, it's a historical documents, Jim, don't you know that?
Yeah, haven't you ever seen Pearl Harbor? It's a great movie. It's very accurate.
I always say, don't be a Thermian from Galaxy Quest. Television is not
Oh man, Galaxy Quest.
It's so bad because usually I like, oh my god, never go by the movie, and especially it's been a Michael Bay movie. I mean, some of the stuff this man's done in American history is just obscene.
What?
But there's like that Senate report is still very heavily, that Senate report is still heavily redacted. We have nothing else to go by. So I've been saying like literally all year, guys, we don't normally go by the movie, but this might be one case where we kind of have to go by the movie a lot.
Well, and to lead some credence to the, obviously it's been heavily dramatized for Hollywood, but the people that were there took an active part in filming that movie. They were the consultants for the movie.
There's 2 or 3 of them that are all over the lecture circuit.
Yeah.
They're out now.
Yeah.
A little bit more is coming to light.
Yeah. So, take it for what it is. We're taking it with a grain of salt. We're doing a what if scenario, so pretty much as long as we stay within the realms of historical possibility, we don't have to be 100% accurate, because nobody's going to know 100%, right? Other than the people that were actually there. We're just, trying to do the what if scenario and honor everybody that was involved. Let's go back. So the Germans didn't have M48 patents in World War II?
My favorite part of that scene is that General Patton, he's fighting an army of tanks named after him He's literally blowing himself up.
So yeah, table's just about done. I'm putting some support braces under it. The magic trick is going to be how do we get it downstairs in the studio without destroying it, because it's kind of wider than doorways. We may end up filming it right where it's at, so we'll play that when we get everything ready to go. And it's going to be a great game. This is what, 9 months of planning and discussing.
It's literally our baby.
Yeah. It's literally 9 months of cooking. So yeah.
I've been thinking about the generation of the militia at, say, the spawn points or through the gates, whichever way we go. We need a level of controllability to balance the numbers, so you don't just have 1 or 2 guys walk in to literally get cut down straight away. You kind of want to be able to control the balance. A deck of playing cards would allow us to do that.
Oh, yeah?
Because you could literally select the cards that you want, shuffle them so you don't know the order they're going to come in, and then turn them to generate the enemy forces.
Yeah.
You could even, because we've got a couple of RPKs, a couple of RPGs, and things like that, we could also add in a different colour. So you could just use reds for militia, and then you could have the number 7 with a black card, spade or a club, and that would then have one of the specials in it.
Okay.
So you could have 7 militia, of which one would be an RPG, an RPK, or one of the specials.
Sure. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
But then that allows you to do the math. You could literally build a deck of X amount.
You like pull a bunch of cards out, so it's like we go a 2, a 5, a 6, and make sure it adds up to 65.
Exactly that, yeah. So when you run out of deck, or you can even see when your wave is starting to peter out because you're getting low on the deck.
Okay.
Or it's almost like a reverse battle group, where we pulled the 9, we've already pulled the 8. So we know that the next card probably isn't going to be a huge force, allows you to plan a little bit.
Yeah.
Or gamble. Or more anxiously, the converse of that. Well, we pulled a bunch of 1s, 2s, and 3s. We know there's an 8, a 9, and a 10 in there somewhere. Oh, God.
No, that's a good idea. I like that almost better than some kind of dice mechanic. Yeah.
The best way to control dice, and it's not perfect, is to never have it be a single dice.
Yeah.
Have it be 2 or 3 dice, and that way at least you get a bell curve. But even then, what are you going to roll a bunch of D4s? I mean, yeah. I think the card idea is definitely better.
No, yeah, I like the card idea because, yeah. Do you go up to the 10, or do you put in the face cards?
I think...
well, you only have 65 people, so...
Yeah, you've not got to get them out, so 10 would wipe out a 6th of your force in a single card.
Well...
and I don't know how easy and Sanguine,
Yeah.
Yes, we'll cut through loads, but if the Sanguine system doesn't cater to that,
yeah,
you might have to tailor it based around the rule set.
Sure.
But, different, like Jim said, you could end up with I'd probably say 6 to 8 is probably your high cards. Depending on the Sanguine system.
Okay.
Because how easy is it to run? Again, I don't know much about Sanguine. How easy is it to run 4-man fire teams or like 8-man squads? I hesitate to word it with a squad for militia, but 8-man groups in a game like Sanguine. Isn't Sanguine usually an individual based game?
Yeah, it is.
So you wouldn't want to have a group be too big.
Yeah.
Because if you think 8 AKs will still put down a hell of a amount of firepower.
Yeah.
No matter how inaccurate that is, if that's 1 or 2 dice per...
So I'm thinking using cards up to 6. I'm trying to do math in my head, but...
Let me open up Excel while we talk.
Okay. So our color commentator, Jen, says you also have to remember Angry Jerry and Grandpa Jerry.
Are Angry Jerry and Grandpa Jerry the same person?
I don't know, are they?
Yeah. Because all the other Jerrys died, so yeah, we have to make sure it's the same Jerry.
Yeah. And then Rasmus says even custom cards in a pile for each gate. Yeah, we could, Yeah, I mean, we'll come up with something on that. But Jim's putting together a spreadsheet to look at the numerics, the arithmetic, the sergeant math.
I mean, when it comes down to, because we already know the sum.
Yep.
About how many cards do we want? Like 10? 12, 15?
That's a good question. So we're in turn 6. I would like to see it go at least 6 more turns, if possible.
I suppose, do we even know how far you move in Sangin?
I'm sorry, say that again?
How far we move, characters move in Sangin. That movement.
Like what's a typical movement range in the Sangin?
Oh, it's, hold on a minute. I'm going to refer to the old book.
Cool. Yeah, that should be no problem. What I'm thinking is, obviously, you've got a good-sized board. So if you're at the gate, and you only move 6 on foot, and you're 40 inches away from the compound, you'll still be 4 inches away from the compound.
Yeah. Movement. Movement. Hello, movement. Carl, where are you when I need you? It's not far. Is it like 6 inches?
I imagine it's meant to be played on a smaller board,
yeah.
A 2x2 or a 3x3 in fire teams. So it might be that you amend with factors of 2 or add a run characteristic. Because if when you engage, cover and putting down fire as a stationary is probably going to run you well past 6 turns.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. Carl says it lots depends on pips and how used. So, yeah, because you got to look at here's movement AP. So, movement AP. So walking is 3 inches. It's 1 action point. Turning greater than 90 degrees is an action point. Spotting, running is 6 inches. Crawling is 1 inch. So, running is an action point. So you get 3 action points a turn. So
essentially, yeah, you could run 18 if you had just a sprint.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So
yeah, you might just need to almost have maybe some sort of just 10-minute pre-game where you test it.
Yep.
And just see, okay, yeah, we'll times that by 2 because otherwise we just won't get there. Or yeah, I think that's probably a good way, just a quick litmus test.
So our color commentator states that Jim is good at fake bad guy cards, though there aren't many anacondas and predators in Libya.
Oh God. the old blind reveal cards. So with 15 cards, we got a pretty good spread. But I don't know if you want that many cards. Is it only going to be 1 card per turn, or multiple cards per turn?
Oh. Here's what okay, hold on a minute, guys. I got an idea. So, we have 3 access points, yes?
Yep.
So, do we roll a die for each access point, and if it's 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, whatever we want to do, or odd and even, however you want to do it, we roll for each access point, and depending on the roll, that point would pull a card that turn. So, it potentially could be 3 cards.
So you would have, statistically, a card and a half per turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then 15 cards would be almost perfect.
Yeah. So 15 cards, 1 through 6. Jim, did you figure that out?
I'm sorry?
And then the value of each card, 1 through 6, did we say?
Yeah, so if there's 15 cards in the deck, if you have, I built sort of a bell curve in here.
Uh-huh.
You have 2 2s, 3 3s. The middle of the curve is 4 4s.
Okay. 2
5s, 2 6s, and 2 7s.
Okay, so it's 2 to 7s. Okay.
But not evenly. They're mostly 4s.
Right. No, I got you.
Yeah. You wind up with 65.
Perfect.
Perfect. But that requires 15 cards.
15 cards, perfect.
And then you have you probably be playing more than 1 card per turn.
Yeah.
And then if you choose one of the colors and say black adds one of the special weapons.
So then we have to figure out how many special weapons are we using in the game. So
however many you've got. I think you've got, I want to say it's got case, but I think it might actually be 4, because I think some of the stuff I bought was extra. Some of the extras I bought. I'm pretty sure 2 RPGs, but I think you've already got a couple of RPGs, a couple of RPKs yourselves.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we'll just intermix. You know, so if we're using 15 cards, do we say 5 of them are the special cards? So that's roughly 33%, right?
Yeah, it's exactly what
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we'll do 5 of the 15 will be the special weapons cards. That they'll have, you know, special weapons mix in them.
Yeah, just have like them be. Well, yeah, the most you have is I make sure that we never use more than 4 of a certain number.
Yeah.
So you have 4 4s.
Yep.
And then all the other ones, just have one of them be a spade.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the 2 of hearts, the 2 of spades, the 3 of hearts, the 3 of diamonds, and the 3 of spades. All 4 4s, 2 5s, one of them be a spades. And that way you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no, you end up with 6. You end up with 6 that way. Hold on.
So we're doing 2 2s, 3 3s, 4 4s, 3 5s.
2 5s.
2 5s?
2 6s and 2 7s. I'm gonna send you a picture of this in Skype.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, so just leave out, just have no spades in 2, because, I mean, 2 men, the odds of them having a special weapon are going to be pretty low.
Sure.
1 of the 3s, 1 of the 5s, I'm sorry, 1 of the 3s, 1 of the 4s, 1 of the 5s, 1 of the 6s, 1 of the 7s.
Perfect.
That gives you with 5, you know, pick 1 diamond spades, like 1 certain suit that you know.
Yeah.
And have those be,
Should be clubs, because that's what you're going to do to them. Or it could be spades, because you're going to bury them.
I say it should be hearts, because we're going to put the bullet right through it.
Oh, well, no, it's militia. You didn't know what that is.
So, yeah, no, that's, look at that. Game creation, rules creation on the fly. Can't find it anywhere else. You know, there's other video game channels out there that they don't do game creation like this on the fly. Bada bing, bada boom. Just saying.
No, that's true. Some streams I've heard will talk about game design, but like in a theoretical sense, they don't actually come up with ideas.
Yep.
Another good thing is, Jay,
yep.
You've got an SUV.
I do. We have an SUV.
At least one.
We have one. The other one's blowed up. And then there were 2 vehicles in the compound.
Yeah.
Well, technically, if you go by the movie, they came in 1 SUV, 1 sedan, the GRS guys.
Okay.
Which one did you blow up?
Well, we went by the State Department report,
okay.
Senate Commission report, which was 2 SUVs.
2 SUVs, then we'll blow up an SUV.
Yeah, an SUV has been to the compound.
Okay, so I'm going to keep the sedan in the compound. We'll say that's the ambassador's vehicle, right? That was in the compound the DSS agents were using.
Okay.
So we know we have. So I have one vehicle that. Go ahead.
The audience, these things are armored to hell and gone.
Yeah.
They're not like your normal, Honda Civic.
Right.
Taking the kids to soccer practice.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, there were 2 vehicles from DSS agents in the compound. We're going to blow up one of the vehicles outside the compound for the guys getting in. I will create some smoke plume for it, or I might just light it on fire. Shit. Well, I'll just really light it on fire. Wouldn't that be cool? I'll drill a hole in the top of it. It's metal. No, it's resin. That could be bad. Never mind. We'll take it. But yeah.
Just drill out the bottom and put one of them little, what are they called?
Little lights, the candle tea lights or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah, the tea light, just turning on.
I got some of those flickering ones here. Could use one of those. So, yeah, we'll simulate that. So, another recap, just because you guys ended up coming through the back gate, right? Not the main gate?
We came in through the front gate.
Oh, you did come through the front gate.
Yep.
I was looking at that.
Tried the actual historical results.
That's right. You came through. You did the actual historical route, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Yeah, it almost cost him the RPG at a caught him on the way through.
But you know what? Your results.
You roll a 4.
So we've now played the game several times, and you guys
technically 4 times, yeah.
4 times, and we have done different routes. You have done the historical route, which got you very positive results. I did a back city alleyway route, which I got bogged down pretty bad, and I lost my interpreter and a couple of other guys, if I remember correctly. Which route do you think was the most successful? The historical route, just direct right through and go?
I got like the one what Dennis was talking about a second ago. I got lucky with one RPG mess. Actually, I got lucky twice. So in the transit game, which maybe I gave the militia too many heavy weapons. In the transit game, the militia have 2 RPGs somewhere on the table, and they were kind of like right there on that eastern street that goes from south to north. That was like the second leg of their journey, or whatever, like the second left they had to make. I got lucky right off the bat. The very first street events table, I got to turn a hostile group into an ambivalent group. Basically, they're a hostile militia that got bored, where they saw a nice TV in the window of that store and said, you know what, I'm not going to worry about fighting the infidel today. I'm going to smash that window and steal that TV because there's a great soccer game on today.
Right.
Oh, seriously, that's what's going on.
Yeah. So,
So I got lucky with that roll, and I chose one of his teams that had the RPG in it. So he lost that RPG right off the bat. I drove up past him. I tried to recruit that team into Feb 17 on the fly. I just missed that roll, and we kept driving northwards. There was a second RPG. He took a shot at me from about 200 yards away as I was making that little dogleg turn to that second northern street there, up there to the northeast.
Yep.
And yeah, he needed a 5. You need a 5 to hit any vehicle, especially an opportunity fire, and he rolled a 4.
Ooh, so close. An
RPG hitting. Yeah, we talked about how heavily armored those SUVs are.
Yeah.
An RPG in the driver's door is still going to.
Yeah.
You roll 5 D10s on that table. Anything over a 6 either hits a crewman or disables the vehicle.
Yep.
The chance of him rolling all 5. I mean, Gaz rolls pretty terrible dice, but the chance of even him rolling 5 dice D10s, all of them being 6s or less, or 5s or less, I was probably going to lose that vehicle.
Yeah.
So I got lucky.
Yeah, very lucky. Very lucky.
After that, it was still bloody, but
the dish was the only. You were lucky with the dish.
Can I tell you that is my new favorite weapon to hate? I have played several games with Jim where that freaking gun shows up every time, and it's a pain in my ass every time.
It's a man-portable, technically, heavy machine gun, or crew portable. It weighs like 106 pounds. So they've been using since 1944. I mean, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Soviet Army made millions of those things during the Great Patriotic War. They've never released. I mean, it's been replaced on Soviet vehicles and Russian vehicles, but still, I mean, there's in the third world, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And they'll take out light armored vehicles. They'll threaten light armored vehicles. They'll definitely put a hole in a helicopter for damn sure.
Oh, damn sure. And they took out one of my helicopters, if I remember correctly.
I mean, the M2 that we talk about, the Maldeus, that's been around since what, 1920 or something, you know, in like different versions. It's basically the Russian Maldeus. It's this 50 cal belt-fed machine gun that if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and there's just millions of them everywhere. So yeah, you're going to run into them. Yeah,
you gotta love John Browning. I mean, stuff he's made back in the early 1900s, we still use. So, I mean, you don't find a better pistol than a Browning, which then became the 1911, because he was the creator of the 1911, and then the Maudeuses, and then the BARs, and everything else. So, yeah, excellent. Catching up on some comments. Skoback says, it's October, good time to stock up on your flickering tea lights at the Dollar General store. There's a plug for Dollar General. Hey, Dollar General, if you want to throw some sponsorship our way, we'll take it. Rasmus says, Skoback, question, do I dare the local Dollar General? It's like the people at Walmart. You have the people at Walmart, you have the people at Dollar General. Look, we just lost our sponsorship. You'll be fine. Just wear your mask. That's all I got to say. Wear your mask. We are ready to rock and roll this game. Busy weekend here at SitRep. We got the filming. We've got a podcast recording on Sunday morning. Jim, are you streaming Sunday game?
Yes. Well, I'll put it this way. I'm keeping a stream in reserve.
Okay.
Because number one, we're doing podcast. Number two, you guys are editing that video together, and that's going to take a long time. So we're ready to stream if it's required.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. I mean, yeah, if you want to do that, because I don't know how long the stream. let me rephrase that. The recording is going to take me to edit. I'm pretty proficient at editing, so it's been a while, but I can still crank it out pretty quick. It's just a matter of that and then graphics. You know how it goes. But it just depends on how much tape look at me using the word tape. How much tape we're using that we're going through that I'm going to have to edit. So, guys, as much as we try to get the video out to you on Sunday, depending on the amount of editing, the game may not go out on Sunday. We'll have to see. So, Jim, what I would suggest, if you're good with this, is that you plan on doing your game stream as planned as Sunday, and if we get the game able to go out Sunday, we'll actually push it to Monday. Or we could, no, I'll save it for the Thursday night show, because I'm going to probably be traveling back down to Florida, so I won't be able to do much on Thursday. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll talk about it this weekend. We'll see how things go. Because by the time I talk to you guys again on Sunday morning, we'll have finished the recording. So we'll go from there. Boy, Jen is on fire tonight. Ouch. Tape. Wow, you just dated yourself.
Oh, come on, Jen.
I love it. Come on, Jen. Bring it on. She's our color commentator. You know what? We should get Jen to commentate on some of our games. We'll just give her the tape. The tape. Here I go again. The video. And let her do a voiceover commentary. I'd love to hear that.
So Jen might be on our Sunday stream.
Yeah.
Sneak peek of, hey, me too. Yeah, we're talking about you, Jen. We're talking about. She might be behind the conversation. Yeah. So we're definitely on for Sunday then. Cool.
Okay. What are you playing?
We were gonna do Letters of Mark again.
Oh, nice.
Because our last Letters of Mark stream kind of ran into all kinds of technical problems. We did manage to post a recap, but the live stream did not go well.
Oh, damn.
No, it didn't even record right or stream right or anything. It was a disaster. So it'd be nice to have a nice clean stream of Letters of Mark finally.
Got it. Well, you got a new setup, so everything should be running perfectly. I mean, the transit game was amazing, so it was good. Yeah, it looked really good. All right, cool, guys. Gaz, why don't you go to bed? It's only, 2 in the morning there?
I have no idea. I've probably been up like 19, 20 hours now.
Good night. Do you have to work tomorrow?
No, thankfully.
Oh, good. All right.
It's just it's coming up to 2:15.
Okay. So, Jim, I wanted to let you know we are officially moving to the Florida Keys.
Oh, Keys. Awesome.
Yeah, we're going to be down on Ramrod. So, you're only a 4-hour drive away. There might be some gaming weekends in person.
I feel like a Panzer Blitz Fest coming up.
Woo!
Panzer Blitz Fest, trays of miniatures that I can just put in the back of a car safely, not worry about, traveling with minis with a car is one thing. With a plane, it's impossible. But with a car, it's exponentially easier. So.
Yeah. So.
Meraki's out, Jim.
Oh, man. They're ready.
Yep.
They're ready.
So, as I announced before, I don't think both of you had joined yet. As of right now, the gaming weekend's still on because we're not selling our house in Chicago. We're my sister's gonna rent it from me. So, we're as of right now we're still on. We're looking at COVID numbers. They seem to have spiked again in some areas. I told everybody that we will. Make a final decision no later than November 1, because I know some people have bought tickets. Gaz, we need to talk to you about that at some point offline. So I just want to make sure, if for some reason it doesn't go through, we will wholeheartedly refund everybody's money. It's sitting in an account, so you guys are safe. It's fully refundable. But as of right now, we are planning on playing. That the game weekend's still on. So, yeah.
Knock on wood, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So, yeah. We'll see what happens. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap up the show at that. We want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. This was a low-key discussion about some of the fine details. Like I said, I was going to show off more miniatures on the table. But I want to keep that as a surprise for this coming weekend recording. When we get all the good stuff going on and make it look visually stunning. So, yeah, here we are. Anybody else have any last-minute thoughts, or we'll talk to you on Sunday?
I'm going to sleep.
All right, guys, go to sleep. Jim, thank you for everything you do. It's much appreciated. Yeah, and Jen, thank you for all your colorful comments. I might just send you the edited video and let you do the over talk, and you can say whatever. You know. Maybe we'll have the Jim and Jen show. Oh, the Jim and Jen show!
Jim and Jen show is probably going to be on this Sunday.
Excellent.
We're probably going to be the ones playing Letters of Mark.
Excellent. I will try and jump in. It's going to be my last weekend with my grandson for a while after we get done with all our recording and stuff. So I will try and jump in when I can. But I do need to spend some time with him before we head down south. So, yeah. Awesome. Skullback, thank you very much for joining us. Rasmus, as always. Chris Long. Carl, thank you very much for joining us. And to anybody else I did not mention, there were several people on. And to our special guests, special guest on a Thursday show, to Big Jim Oriskany, our historical guru, and to our Bob Ross of painting, the Gaz. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. You all have a good night. And we will see you shortly. We'll see you Sunday, right? Yep, we'll see you Sunday. Take care, everybody.
Take it easy.